I'll ask you what I asked her. Do I have any boogers hanging out my nose or anything? Any clears?
No. Do I?
Yeah. Looks good.
Okay.
Hey guys, I'm Megan.
And I'm Stephanie. And we are
Barn Besties with farm fresh advice
for you. So we are here to impart the knowledge that we have learned over the years of building and running barns, so that you guys don't have to have the problems and the misery and the mistakes that we made. Hope you enjoy our videos. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, right?
Right, and we hope to save you time and money on your new adventures.
Absolutely.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I am Stephanie, your local on the scene barn bestie in Megan's barn. Miss Megan is, as I am talking, on location in California, training with her trainer for a few months. So I snuck into her barn. No, I'm kidding. She told me I could do this. I'm interviewing one of her instructors. This is Miss Charlotte.
Hi.
Introduce yourself, Miss Charlotte.
Hi, I'm Charlotte Cozine. I'm one of the instructors here at Lindinhof Riding Academy. I've been here for about almost 3 years now.
Wow. Yeah. So Charlotte agreed to let me sit down via Miss Megan, of course, and ask her all the questions. So we're going to see where we go with this. I'm going to find out her background, what made her decide to get into the professional world of horses, and go from there. So thank you again. Thank you. So y'all, it's what? Is it Groundhog Day?
It's February 2nd.
Is that Groundhog Day?
I don't know.
It's February, and we're in Wisconsin, so we have a few layers on. We'll just start with that.
And our heated vest.
Yes, we are both sporting, as we've referred to. I got to be careful. I always hit this. Our heated vest so that we don't freeze too much. But I think it's actually supposed to be really nice out today. But we're not going to dilly dally and waste y'all's time. So, tell me, how old were you when you got into the horse thing?
So I started riding when I was 3 years old.
Oh, ponies?
Yeah, my first pony was a pony named Nutmeg, but I couldn't pronounce it, so I always called her Megnut. Oh,
that's so cute. Not everybody gets ponies when they're little.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to find good ponies.
Lunge line lessons.
Wow.
My mom had always wanted a little girl named Charlotte who rode horses, so she like manifested me.
She manifested you. I love that. That's fabulous. So you had supportive parents from the get-go.
Yeah, she's always been super supportive of it.
She manifested you. I love that. Okay. So what did you start off? Was it just basically like hold on to the Western saddle and learn how to stay on a horse?
English riding. I'm from Massachusetts.
Okay.
So we were living in like Western Mass when I was that age. So started at a little farm out there. An English tack on the lunge line, and then we moved to Cape Cod, just south of Boston on the East Coast, and then I started at a hunter jumper barn.
Oh, so nice. Okay.
That was kind of I did the hunter jumper pipeline. And
that's huge. East Coast, big hunter jumper world out there.
Yep. And really I think I started showing at like 7 years old.
Oh, wow.
Like, walk trot classes and cross rails. And continued to do that until I was 11.
Did you have long hair and braids and little bows in your hair?
Yep, and the little paddock boots with the the jodhpurs and the jod straps.
Yeah, I love that. Well, that's I feel like sometimes that's still missing in the young kiddo world. They shouldn't be in tall boots. They need to be in jodhpurs and jodhpur straps.
Yeah, it's so cute.
Yeah, well, it's cute, but it's their little legs. They're not ready for. They need to feel the horse.
So,
and yes, practical. Very cute.
Yes.
Yeah. That's so awesome. So what made you decide to start showing? Was it a show barn and you were just like, oh, everybody's doing it, so I want to do it? Or did you like love the idea of competing?
It was, no, I've never loved the idea of competing.
Not everybody does.
An anxious person.
I think that's you find that a lot, especially with amateurs. Like I loved showing, but I was always so nervous. But it was like the minute I put my leg over the saddle, on the horse's back, that ratcheted down enough. But yes, I think a lot of people. So
yeah, I was like always the kid that would mess up my course, I would do it like perfect, but backwards, and then I'd get out of the ring and they'd be like, that was great, but you did it backwards. And I'd be like,
at least the judges are usually like, these are little kids, so I'm not going to ring her out, freak her out. We're just going to let her do her thing. Yeah. That's sweet.
So I think
learning a course is hard.
it is hard. And at
You don't
that
get a
age,
collar like you can in the
Mm-mm.
dressage world when you're first starting out, you know, till you go to like, you know, championship classes and stuff where you can't really have a collar. I can't even talk. I'm so frozen.
It's too cold.
Right. You can't have that in the jumping per se.
No,
You're
and
not
there's
supposed to anyway.
yeah.
So is it hunters?
Hunters? Yep, hunters, and then as I got older, jumpers. And they
fun.
were naughty little school ponies,
Oh,
you know.
yes.
So there were lots of refusals and
But
things
you learned
that.
So you feel like you learned really how to stick a little bit?
Yeah, I would say I'm pretty sticky at this point in my life.
That's good.
Even without the sticky pants. But so I definitely fell off a lot. But learned how to bounce.
Were you just using school horses? Did you at some point graduate into either like maybe leasing or purchase your own?
Yeah, so I used school horses until, and then when I was 11, we started looking into buying a horse. And
had you graduated out of the ponies? Then
I had graduated out of the ponies, was riding horses. My mom found a classified ad for a man who had bred an Arabian colt. And again, she just thought, how cute would it be for us to grow up together as a non-horse person, thinking what a great idea it would be.
Mm-hmm.
So they bought me a 5-month-old Arabian stud colt at 11 years old. And
cute.
That was kind of the history. Fire and I did grow up together. I still have him.
Oh my gosh, really?
Be 29 in April.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
that is actually so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So 5 months old, you got him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
Yeah.
That's
I
awesome.
I get emotional.
Yeah,
My old man.
that is a fabulous story. So tell us, let's go down that path.
Yeah.
Tell us about being 11, 12 and having basically a coming yearling
Mm-hmm.
and having to learn all the things and do all the things.
Yeah, it was wild. I mean, he taught me so much about life and horses. And it was hard too, because I wanted to ride.
Right.
So it taught me patience, and perseverance.
So once you got him, did the lessons quit and you just...
we moved to another barn because the barn I was at, they were like, you're crazy. Like, no way are we bringing a yearling stud colt with a 12-year-old owner. Like, this isn't safe. And like, they were not wrong. So we found a barn where the man who ran it, he was more of a trainer. It was a training barn. So and he was more like in the quarter horse world, but also had some Arabs, and they did more of the open show type circuit. So with English and Western and halter and all of that. So that was, it was a wonderful situation because he was super knowledgeable. And so he really helped me up until that point. As a kid, I had no knowledge of groundwork. I didn't know how to lunge a horse. Like I just never, why would I? We just went tacked up, jumped on the ponies and went. So he really helped me through those first formative years with Fire, just learning groundwork and playing around with Liberty and lunging and just really getting to know each other. And then during that time, I started leasing a little Appaloosa mare that he had.
Nice.
And so I showed her, we did English, and some jumping
like hunter under saddle.
Hunter under saddle.
Hunt seat, pleasure.
Yeah, pleasure.
Hunt seat equitation, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I didn't do too much Western with her, but yeah, just all of that. And we did like the big open show circuit through New England. I even took her, I was regional, like short stirrup champion with her, and they would do like some big like week-long shows at the end of the season, which was a super fun experience.
Really big open shows
where you go, the shows where you go and everyone decorates their stall barns and like would bring in like water fountains.
That almost sounds like the bigger breed, like the AQHA shows or Appaloosa horse shows or the paint horse shows where they'll come for a full week and do that. Yeah, that's fun.
We would stay like in the trailers, and so that was a super fun experience to get. That is
really neat. Yeah. To back up just a little bit, I know Megan and I, when we talked a little bit about our backgrounds, I feel like, and you just brought it up perfectly, I feel like for so many, and maybe I'm wrong, tell me if I'm wrong, it was quarter horses and Arabians when we were younger.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like, or, you know, Appaloosas, paints, but, you know, the quarter horse kind of background in Arabians, and maybe a little bit of saddlebred, because the Arabians and saddlebreds would sometimes cross in and do some of the same, like open shows and things, saddle seats and stuff, but it very similar. Yeah. Yeah. So it's really awesome that you had like a little bit of time in a hunter jumper barn and stuff with ponies, because I don't remember being a kid really exposed to any ponies, other than I had a friend who had a large pony. He was quite literally like 14 1 3/4. He was a Welsh cob, but I mean, you know, he didn't feel like a pony when we were kids. Yeah, he was just like a small horse, like a honey. So that's exciting. So you were leasing this little Appaloosa mare. So how long did you keep your little colt to stud, or did this guy say, you know, snip time?
No, I mean, I think, as you know, this was in the 90s, and so like Black Stallion was a really big movie, and my horse's sire was black, so we weren't sure. So Fire was like a red chestnut colt when I bought him, but his dam was gray, and so it's kind of like not sure, you know. I always said he's my horse of many colors, because he started off like this beautiful red chestnut, and then he started to go really dark, and we were like, is he gonna go black? Or like dark bay, and like, you know, how fun would he be as like a stallion? I don't know.
Right.
So I'm so naive.
Like a black red. I love that. Really. Because you can, in the chestnut horses, I feel like you get the orange chestnuts, or you get those so brilliantly flame red. They almost have like a black backdrop to them that make them that. I mean, I can't even call it copper. It's like such a red chestnut. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, he was like flame red, and that's why the Fire name. His dad was Midnight Magic Fire, so his show name is Magic's Little Fire. But he did end up eventually starting to gray out. So
So he got the gray gene.
He got the gray gene, and then he had a retained testicle, so we gelded him at 3, 2.5, 3. Which was smart, because he was wild. I mean, he was fiery, you know. He was just full of spirits. It was shortly before we started putting him under saddle. I started, you know, putting him under saddle at just a little over 3. We wanted to wait. I didn't really sit on him until he was 4.
Did you do anything like show him halter or anything?
Yep, we did halter. He was not a super great halter. He was like fiery and all, but in the show ring, like he's a big Arab, so he's 15'3" and like a quarter.
He is large.
Yeah, and pretty big. Impressive. Like more of a sport horse type Arab build. So he didn't, and at that time it was all like in the halter classes, like the petite, super dishy, like curvy little Egyptian Arabs. So he just didn't do well in that. But we did it for exposure.
I think Bosk, who is of course really well known as a foundation sire, was not very big, you know, in that 13 something to 14 hands, whereas that line and
little cuties. So Fire was not that. So then I started getting him under saddle. That was rough. I think I fell off every day for a month straight.
Boy.
At one point he bucked me off, and these are horror stories. I have a lot of them, but I fractured my tailbone, and my trainer picked me up off the ground and just put me back in the saddle. It's like, yep, you're getting back on. I was like, you know,
crumpled in a heap,
crying.
The ground hurts.
Yeah, but you know, we survived, and so those are all lessons learned. You know, lessons learned what not to do. Yes. Right.
Horses have a really great way of teaching us that lesson in life.
Yeah.
How not to do something.
Exactly. Yeah. And how to be brave too, especially as a young girl.
You know, it's funny. Let's stop on that right there. Megan and I are doing some, and you guys, I'm not sure when you're going to see this. I'm going to guess you're going to see this months after Megan and I have some live streams we're trying to do while she's in California. And one of the things a lot of people have talked about, we just talked to a life coach, but a lot of people are asking is to find somebody who can say, you know, okay, I got like a bad fall or something, you know, some sort of bad situation that now I have this fear factor to get over. That's like huge.
Yeah, it is.
And I think as kids, because I remember the same thing growing up, little kid, falling off and being terrified. And the instructor was like, get on, you're riding. You know what I mean? Like they just were like, if you don't tackle this right now, you know, if your arm isn't hanging in a funny angle and you can get back on, you're getting on, because they're like, you have to like move on to get past your fear as a kid.
Right.
And of course, as adults,
it's hard.
It's real hard for me to be like, get on.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you're like, you're an adult. You can be like, oh no. You know what I mean? There's no.
Well, I always tell people,
it's that mental game as you get a little older.
No,
too.
and like I have to think about my insurance deductible. Like it's not low.
That's a whole nother conversation.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah. So it's harder. As an adult.
So I think this is going to be a really good series of videos with Charlotte. I'm going to try not to make them too long. We tend to start talking and lose track of time. So we're going to have several parts to this because I've got a lot of questions, but I think this is a great point to just go ahead and say, let's end part 1.
Okay. Yeah.
Make sure you guys, before you go, first of all, make sure you click the bell. First of all, make sure you're subscribed. Then click that bell, which will turn on the reminder notification so that when we post the next video, part 2, you come back and check in on Charlotte's story, because this is good. I'm really excited to hear more. And we've got a long way to go to get caught up to the current here and now. So, yep. And if you got questions, let us know. Leave them down below in the comments. We really appreciate it. But we will see you guys on our next video. Bye, everybody.